Hello everyone. Last lesson, we introduced the oil separator page. This lesson, we will introduce the specific operation of the oil separator. For the sake of explanation, we're going to be ready for the compressed air system, freshwater system, and steam system. They'll all be ready. Now the freshwater system and compressed air system pressure is normal. Steam system related piping is ready. Now prepare the fuel system lines. First, we set up a scenario, separate and purify fuel oil from number 1 heavy oil settling tank to number 1 heavy oil service tank. Therefore, it is necessary to open the relevant valves in the pipeline, and the outlet valve of the settling tank should be opened. Open the valve in front of the filter. The inlet valve for the oil pump should be opened. The inlet valve of the heater should be opened. Open the valve of the separator net oil outlet. Open the oil inlet valve of number 1 heavy oil service tank. Open the oil return valve of bypass line and the oil inlet valve of number 1 settling tank. Other valves leading to suction and outlet should be made sure it's closed. When the fuel line is ready, also need to open the oil separator operating page of the relevant valves. Open the valve of compressed air line. Freshwater line valve should be open. Make sure all preparations are completed. Check that the emergency stop button is not pressed. At this point, the power switch can be turned to power the device. The oil separator comes to the train of standstill. Indicates that it is currently in standby mode. Now we can press the start button of the oil separator control panel. After the start button is pressed, it will be booted through the LCD to lead to the follow-up operation of oil separator. Like asking right now, whether the oil separator is repaired according to the procedure, whether to dismantle the operation bell. On the real ship, according to the corresponding situation, we can answer it. The purpose of this inquiry is used to replace water in the oil separator and related operations. Determine whether to carry out displacement water capacity check, and whether one more leak test is needed. The purpose of these setting programs is to make the equipment work smarter. It can be more accurate after the failure to locate the related faults and the cause of the failure. So here we select No. That is, no cleaning was done. We can see the start button flashing. New tips appear on the LCD screen. To start the feed pump of the oil separator by pressing the start button. According to the instructions, we click the shiny start button to start the oil pump. Now the oil feed pump has been started. The feed pump begins to circulate the fuel. At the same time, the LCD screen prompts to start the heater. Click the flashing start button again. Put the heater to work. We can keep the control mode of heater in automatic mode. The temperature setting is 98 degrees centigrade. Heater icon indicator is always on. Steam appears to flow at the inlet. To start heating the heater. Because the heater is set in auto mode due to its operating mode, the heater will automatically follow. The measured value of the temperature is compared with a set value to adjust the opening of the steam regulator valve. Thus, the heater's fuel outlet temperature can be kept at 98 degrees centigrade in our automatic mode. Now the LCD screen prompts to start the oil separator. It means to start the drive motor of the oil separator. This type of oil separator, which is driven by a pulley underneath, to drive the separator cylinder to rotate at high speed. Start the separator by clicking the shiny Start button. Now we can observe that the current meter pointer of the oil separator, it goes up quickly at first. Then as the oil separator speeds up, the current representation began to decline. Eventually, the pointer will stabilize at a smaller value. At the same time, the rotation speed in the LCD is rising rapidly. After the fuel temperature and the rotation speed of the separation cylinder reach the set value, the LCD will appear the new tips, indicating that the oil separator is ready. It can be put into the normal separation operation. Start the oil separation program. At this point, we click the shiny Start button again. The light of the Start button went on long. This time the oil engine will be related. Slag discharge, displacement water, seal water, and leak test operations. This means the oil separator has started working properly. It is going to a series of fault diagnosis tests. During this time, the oil separator will perform a leak test to detect any leakage inside the separation cylinder. The test method is to close the oil inlet pipe, the oil outlet pipe, and the water outlet pipe. Observe the pressure inside the separation cylinder, whether it is decreasing in rated time. In addition, the inlet and outlet pipelines will be checked for patency. After making sure the oil separator is working properly, it will go into normal separation. Pneumatic valve operated by air source control. The relevant fuel or water lines will open. The oil separator starts to feed and separate. Slag is discharged at regular intervals. The timing of slag discharge also depends on the actual situation. Determine if temporary slag removal is required. The whole oil separation purification process after starting, people don't have to intervene. If we want to look for the oil separator, which sequence is it currently in? We can select the buttons by selecting the top and bottom options to read the relevant parameters. Each parameter has its own meaning. It can be consulted by the menu. We can also follow the tips of the LCD screen to observe the oil separator separation steps and information. We can also follow the instructions to observe the separator of the relevant freshwater pipeline and inlet and outlet pipeline connection. So we can see when the freshwater comes in. When does normal separation start? Above is the introduction of the oil separator operation.